is up, everybody? It's your boy Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and we're coming at you, obviously, with another Christmas special. I got my rock sweater on. I've worn it before. I'm wearing it again for this one. One more Christmas special after this one, and then we are done for the year of 2023. It's been a crazy year, but we'll get into that because we are doing a year in review. But today's review of a Christmas movie is Home Alone. Yes, I know it's over 30 years old, but I enjoy reviewing these old Christmas movies. So, with that being said, let's dive right in. Of course, we started off by seeing the infamous house from Home Alone, and I've always wondered what Kevin's dad did for work to make that money. It's a big house with a lot of people in it, but they never get into it. So, yeah, I don't know. But we see Joe Pesci dressed as a cop. He plays Harry in the movie. He's one of the bad guys, of course. We know he's not a real cop. He's asking like when they're going away, who the parents are, how long they'll be gone, when they'll be back, that kind of thing. He's trying to find out info, you know. So eventually the pizza guy shows up. He asks Harry for money. Harry's like, I don't work here. We meet Uncle Frank, who is a character. He comes out, he takes the pizza. He's like, that's $122.50. Frank's like, it's my brother-in-law's house. He'll pay for it. And then we finally meet Kevin, the main character. He meets Harry, and Harry smiles at him with that gold tooth. That comes back later, but we will get to that. So then we go upstairs. Kevin is talking to Buzz about, going away. And they look outside and they see Marley salting the streets. And Buzz tells Kevin about how Marley is a bad person and he's evil and all that. And eventually Marley looks up at the window. They close it real quick and Marley's just like, Marley comes back into play later on, but we finally get to the next morning. Unfortunately, a tree fell in the middle of the night and knocked out the power. And that's why their alarms did not go off and they have to run around all crazy to try and get to the airport. Now, there is a plot hole here because the workers said it would take a couple days for them to fix it. Kevin made the call to pizza, I think a day or two later, but that's another story for another time. And they get to the airport, they're running through, they think everyone is there. And of course, they forgot Kevin. Kevin is slowly realizing that he's home alone and he loves it. He is happy. Kevin watches Angels with Filthy Souls, which is a funny fake movie. And then eventually Kevin gets scared because, he's like a 9-year-old kid. Then we see Marv for the first time with Harry. They're going up and down the street. They're like, they know when the lights come on. They're like, that house will come on now. It comes on. And then they go to Kevin's house, but Kevin flicks a light and they were like, wow, I thought they were gone. Interesting. They're like, all right, we'll come back tomorrow. So Kate realizes on the plane, and then the infamous Kevin! And then they land in France and they're running through the airport to try and get help. So they have a cop sent to the house, of course. He knocks on the door. He's like, anybody home? Kevin's hiding under the sheets because he's scared. And the cop, he goes, okay, it all looks secure. Nobody's inside. He goes, tell them to count their kids again. Funny little scene. Then we see Kevin, who evolves into an interesting character by buying groceries and all that. He starts shaving. And he puts on the aftershave and just... Of course it hurts because he's a little kid. Then Kevin sees Marv and Harry's van next door and realizes something is up. He's like, hey, I thought they were supposed to be gone. So he's getting an idea. We see Kevin buying groceries. He has a toothbrush in his hand and he sees Marley. And Kevin backs up in fear and just runs with the toothbrush. The one stock boy chases after him for a little, and then he tells the cop, shoplifter! The cop runs after Kevin, but eventually Kevin does get away after the cop falls on the ice. Eventually, Harry and Marv are driving, and they almost run over Kevin. And they're like, we'll let him go, whatever, They're like, Santa Claus doesn't visit the funeral homes on Christmas, little guy. And then he's like, all right, just let him go, he's a kid. And Harry goes, Merry Christmas. He smiles at him, and then the gold tooth and Kevin's like, oh. And then Harry picks up on that, but of course we know why. So Kevin orders the pizza, the plot hole like I talked about. The same delivery guy comes in earlier, and Kevin is playing Angels with Filthy Souls to talk to him. Says, we leave it on the doorstep. The pizza guy goes, cheapskate. And he goes, I'm going to give you to the count of 10. And then eventually the gun scene is blowing, and the guy trips over the trash can. He runs to get out of the car. He goes, that guy's crazy. So like I mentioned before, we see Kevin going shopping. He got eggs, bread, and fabric softener. That comes back into play later a little bit. The employee looks at him weird, but she lets him go. Kevin plays the movie again as Marv approaches, and the gunshots go off, and Marv runs, and Marv's like, that guy Snakes is crazy. And Harry's like, snakes. I don't know no snakes. Interesting, but that comes in. Kate is still trying to get home, and she's losing her mind over the employees because she doesn't know where she is. She runs into John Candy, a nice cameo in this movie, aka Gus Polinski, head of the Polka Kings. He offers her a ride to Chicago, and of course, Kate takes it. She wants to get home to Kevin. We see Kevin decorating the tree, and Harry looks in the window, and Kevin sees it in the reflection, and he says, hey, Dad! And Harry's like, yeah, he's actually home alone. We know it. Kevin goes to see one of these really shady Santa Clauses, and Santa Claus is in like a jacket. He's just got a beard on, and his beard's half off too. And he tells him what he wants for Christmas, but before he walks up to Santa Claus got a parking ticket. He goes, oh, a parking ticket for Kris Kringle on Christmas Eve? What's next? Rabies shots for the Easter Bunny? I always remember that line. It's so funny. Kevin tells him he wants his family home for Christmas, and Santa's like, I'll see what I can do, buddy. Kevin goes to church on Christmas Eve and eventually talks to Marley. Him and Marley have a nice talk. Marley says, you can say hi to me. I'm not like those rumors. And Marley's actually a really nice guy. Marley talks about how him and his son don't talk, but he's seeing his granddaughter sing from time to time. And Kevin tells him, hey, you should make up. It's Christmas. So eventually Marv and Harry get in the house, and Kevin realizes he has to fight fire with fire. So he's setting traps left and right for Marv and Harry. They get shot by BB guns. They fall on ice. They hold a hot doorknob for way too long. Have feathers blown on them. Marv steps on decorations barefoot, and that had to hurt. So they slip on toys. I'm not sure if they were Legos, but if they were Legos, ouch. Kevin is a menace and beats them at every turn because of course he does. It's Home Alone. But eventually, Marv and Harry get him. They hang him from one of the coat hangers, and they're saying what they're gonna do, and eventually Marley just sneaks in, taps Marv on the back, hits him square in the face with a shovel, and Marv's like, ugh. Marv goes down, of course. Then he hits Harry over the head with a shovel, and Harry goes down. Marley picks Kevin up. He says, let's get you home. Cops come. They, of course, arrest Marv and Harry. Marv says, we're the wet bandits. We live on the sinks. And Harry's like, why are you telling them that? So they know every house they hit. And yeah, Christmas morning eventually comes. Kevin is looking for his mom. He wakes up and he goes, Mom? Nothing. But eventually, she gets home. She sees him. A very nice Christmas moment. She made it home on time for Christmas. Kevin runs to her. They hug. And Kevin makes a funny comment. But he's like, where are the others? And she's like, oh, they couldn't make it. And they walk right through the door. And they're both like, oh. The final scene of the movie, Kevin looks out the window. He sees Marley hugging his granddaughter. Marley locks eyes with him. Marley waves as the snow's coming down. You can tell Marley's emotional. Kevin just smiles. The Christmas music is playing. And that's the end of Home Alone. I really do like this movie a lot. It's a classic. I watch it, not every year, but maybe every other year. I really do enjoy it, and I wanted to review it on this channel for fun. If I had to rate it, I guess 9 out of 10. I don't know. Just some trivia for you guys. Macaulay Culkin's stand-in and stuntman. The stuntman was a grown man who was just very short, and the stand-in, director Chris Columbus, because Macaulay Culkin couldn't work after 10 p.m. because of the child labor laws. Joe Pesci avoided Macaulay Culkin on set just so he would think he was mean. That's pretty good. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, who played Marv and Harry, thought this movie wouldn't become a success, so they just went over the top with it. Didn't think it would be successful, and they definitely did not think a sequel would be coming out of it. Catherine O'Hara did reveal that Macaulay Culkin still calls her mom, and Macaulay Culkin had her at the Hollywood Walk of Fame inductions. Macaulay Culkin, a 9-year-old boy, when he was tired on set, he would just sit there, lie down, take naps in between takes. Hey, if you can get away with it, why not? And the last thing I have for you guys, the ending. They filmed that really early on. So when it's snowing and all that, they got to the set in Chicago and they realized it started pounding down snow. So they dropped everything just to film the ending because they weren't sure if it was going to snow again while they were filming. I thought that was pretty cool. That's a little bit of trivia, not much, but I just thought these were good bits of trivia to tell you guys. Like I said, we got one more Christmas video coming to you after this. It's coming out probably Christmas Eve. I like doing that. I have my editor working ragged this year. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Ryan. I'm trying to get these to him early so he can, just do his thing on Christmas, because of course. But with that being said, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. We're almost at 800, folks. Can we get there by the end of the year? Can we get there by Christmas? We'll see. But I'm Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and I will see you in the next one. Later.